Hey, welcome to the show. Today's November 14th, 2017. Some of the news that I will be giving today were recorded 3 weeks back, so they might be outdated or maybe you've heard of new things, but I will be including some of those clips from the old news, so don't be surprised. So in the last weeks, we've seen a new Hasselblad Space model, and this is a replica that they say is 100% accurate of the Hasselblad that they took out to space. This person is working with, the Hasselblads and making them into exactly the same model that was taken to space. And by that, he's taking off extra things that they didn't need, the astronauts, and making them ready to be sold as collection items. They are still working cameras. So if you're interested in having, a little piece of history, even though it's basically a replica of the space cameras, you can look it up on the link below. Also in Hasselblad, there's been a Kickstarter that came out, which is a Hasselblad Instant back for shooting Instax square format on your Hasselblad. The goal is actually pretty reasonable. I think it's around $80,000. And the price of the back is also pretty reasonable at around, I think, 100, maybe a little less. I'm not sure right now. I'll put that on the screen so you guys can see it. And it only works with Hasselblad, no Brownigas, Mamillas, or other medium format cameras, but it still is very interesting. You have to shoot and then crank the film out like the little camera, the cardboard camera that we announced a few weeks back, the Yali Instant camera or something. I just totally forgot the name. Also, medium format back, Instant's back, another Kickstarter called Rezivot. I've been talking about them. They had a past Kickstarter that didn't work, but now they've come out with a new one, which will work with basically graph lock cameras. So they have one for the Hasselblad, they have some for Mamilla cameras and something around a Reflex or baby Reflex. I'm not sure, you might have to check exactly what backs they make and if they fit the camera you have. Their goal is quite higher to compare to the previous one. It's around $250,000. And the back is also more expensive. It's around $200-ish. And yeah, if you're interested in shooting Instax, you can shoot at this Kickstarter, and the link is below. Also on the Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding campaigns, we have FLM tripods, which is a great brand based in Germany. They've had Indiegogo campaigns before for another of their tripods that's still being sold nowadays. And this is basically called the Berlin 38.4, and it's a tripod looking towards the ultra large format and such. And I talked about it last week, so let me just include that clip now. In this week's news, we have tripod manufacturer FLM, who is coming out with a new tripod called the Berlin 38.4. And it's a new carbon fiber tripod, mostly focused to ultra large format and large format shooters. And it's coming out in an Indiegogo campaign. They also did an Indiegogo campaign for their smaller tripod I think a year ago or so. And it got a 200% of what it was aiming for. This time they're aiming for around 10 grand. And so far it's looking good. It's not the highest tripod. And I honestly shoot with a really high tripod. But the thing is, if you're gonna add the tripod, then you're going to add the tripod head and a camera like 11x14 or bigger. The height is actually not that bad, so I'm looking into it. It's priced with a discount of around 25 to a 30% discount, and you have more details on the link below. There's still I think 20 days or so of the campaign. Also, the big news this few weeks is being Reflex camera. It's a new Reflex SLR camera that shoots film. So I think everyone was surprised about the announcement. We expected something more, I think, normal, but they've actually surprised the community by making a Reflex camera that shoots 35mm film or 135 format. And it has exchangeable mounts for lenses, so it can do Olympus, it can do Canon FD, it can do M42 Pentax, and now they're including some other mounts as stretch goals. That is because they've reached their goal so far. And the backs are supposedly interchangeable too. I still haven't figured out how they make like a little dark slide for your film and you can change film backs. But that makes me think of the, you know, possibility that, you know, you can change different film stocks and such mid-roll. So very interesting, and the price is around £3.99. So not cheap, but pretty affordable considering it's a brand new camera developed today in 2017. I said it before in a live stream. I bought a very, you know, good camera back in the day, and it was 600 euros, and this was when I was 18, so almost 18 years ago. So 400 pounds today is actually pretty, you know, reasonable for a new film camera in 2017. I know there's a ton of vintage cameras out there, but this is a different approach. So if you're interested, you can check it out. Also about instant film, I found a documentary, or actually it's not really a documentary, it's kind of a documentary movie called Instant Dreams, and it's all about how Polaroid got to be one of the biggest film companies, how they surprised the world with their inventions and their technology, and how that basically crashed into nothing, and then Impossible started and such. So very well produced, amazingly good trailer. It might be a little, how do you say, looking for promotion and looking for someone's reaction. I actually got my reaction to say it here, but I think it's interesting and worth seeing. It's going to be going on theaters soon. I hope we can get it online for those that don't live anywhere close to a big theater. But yeah, Instant Dreams Polaroid story. Also, this is last week's news about Dubble film, so I'll link to that right now. And this is one of those kind of like Revolog films that are pre-exposed or reincarnated or whatever you want. Basically, it's film with side effects. So you're going to buy a normal roll from them, and it's going to be coming with light leaks or faults that will make your pictures look different. It can be your style. Maybe it's the way you want to express yourself. If you're interested in it, film is around 14 bucks a roll, which is not exactly cheap, but some people enjoy these kind of fun rolls to shoot every now and then. I'll leave the link below. And then there's an update, and it's on Intrepid cameras. Just before that, my Kickstarter was successful during these few weeks of my hiatus, and I will be leaving to Intrepid on Thursday this week, November, and I will be there doing the documentary, the Q&A video and such during this week, and hopefully I'll be editing and posting videos and pictures of how it's going throughout the trip and when I come back. So yeah, also there's an Intrepid update that they've been moving warehouses, like I said before. They are still a little behind their delivery date for the 8x10, but things are looking good, slowly working towards it, and I'll keep you guys posted. So maybe I'll do the news from Intrepid cameras next week. Also during this time, we've had Silberra, which I talked about last week, so I'm gonna be linking to that right now. Also in the film industry, there's a new brand that I've been talking about called Silberra in Russia, and they finally came out with their Indiegogo campaign, and they've announced a bunch of film emulsions, and it's basically not to fund the new film, but to fund the manufacturing process of boxing and keep on the R&D and such. So if you're interested in hearing more about the Silberra campaign, I left the link below. They're coming out with some ortho film. They're coming with some Pan 50, Pan 100, Pan 160. The film's already available. They're selling it in Russia. There's a bunch of examples of their film on their website. There's a bunch on the Indiegogo, on their Instagram. So the product's already a reality. They just need help to launch it to the whole world. Also, we found a new SLR camera being announced, and this is interesting. In a few weeks, we've had 2 film cameras being announced. It's called the Elbaflex, and it actually goes live like in a few hours. So you're watching this, it's already gone live. I might include the details and such, which I don't know right now, but they will be airing them in a few hours. So it's a reflex camera. It's going to be a Nikon mount, F mount, mechanical shutter, a flash sync to 1/60th and such. I've been getting this from the website, which is linked below. Also, there's been an update on the Labbox store. It's not on their Kickstarter update because they haven't updated the link there, but they announced they were going to make a Labbox store, so you could buy the Labbox if you weren't on the Kickstarter, and the new top, which has the thermometer and the timer and all that. So they finally launched it, but they haven't done it on their Instagram. I mean, sorry, on their Kickstarter. So I'm going to link the store below. They still haven't delivered the product. They're still working on it. They're also working on a delay, but things are looking good. And if you're interested in that kind of developing device, check it out. Okay, so this year is 2017. Everyone's talking about the rebirth of film. We have 2 new film cameras on the projects, basically a Kickstarter from Reflex and a Kickstarter that's going to probably come from Elbaflex. And we have Japan camera hunter Bellamy Hunt announced that he's working on a point and shoot camera, but not all things are great. There's been new films and such, but for example, Kodak still, and I'm talking Kodak, the one in Rochester that makes all kinds of things, is still having trouble with their profits. Basically, if you read the article, the main problem they're having is with the print media, so newspapers, magazines, that's going down. Of course, everyone's going digital. And, tablets, e-readers, and all these things, e-books. So they're laying off a bunch of workers. Supposedly it won't affect film, but as you know, Kodak at the end is a group, and there are different little companies. Kodak distributes film. Kodak makes the film. So it's still not good news knowing that Kodak's still struggling. Ektachrome is still not in stores, even though they were supposed to be launching it this year. They said that it will be coming next month, which is December. Still, my say is we're going to get Ektachrome December 31st, and then it'll be available next year. And yeah, basically Kodak's firing people because it's not doing so well. So let's hope they can manage to figure it out and we can have Kodak products in the future. From Alpa in Switzerland, we have the special edition Alpa SWA, which is coming with a Helvetar, might say that wrong, 43mm kit. So it's 43 with a 6x9 back, some Acros film, which I've said it before. I love that Alpa includes film as limited editions, not compared to digital Leicas that are coming in special editions that end up not working in probably 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So yeah, it's nice to see Alpa making kits that are film based, even though you can adapt them to digital, work fine with digital, but they sell them with the film back and film. So you can use it for as long as the camera is working. Also, there's been a problem with stock with Harman positive paper. As we all remember, Ilford in Switzerland went bankrupt, which was the one making the Harman, well, the Ilford positive paper. It's not the same Ilford as the one in the UK, and there's been problems. I've been seeing a few stores around Europe getting stock. I'm not sure if it's new stock or old stock, but I have heard from Ilford themselves that they were making this paper available soon again. So keep your eyes open, ask your stores and local distributor just in case it might be the case, and you can buy some of the positive paper to shoot on your pinholes, large format or ultra large format cameras. Also for large format shooters, there's an app called Inverso. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Inverso, which is a large format app mostly for Android users to use filter compensation, bellow compensation, now also adds a pinhole timer and calculator. So if you're shooting large format or pinhole and you're using an Android phone, Inverso is free to download. Also, you can use the free as a free app on their website. I'll leave the link below. That website also has a bunch of articles that are very interesting. So I mentioned it before, but I really like the blog and how it's run. Also, in other news, you remember Cameraventures and the Save Film campaign and Saving Camera campaign. We got the results, and Bellamy Hunt from Japan Camera Hunter gave a talk, announced the point and shoot he's working on, and Cameraventures keeps on working on this, and now they're focusing it towards repair centers. So we all know our film cameras are great, they're cheaper than ever, they're going up in price. Why are they going up in price? Is demand, and they're not getting fixed, and some are broken. So Cameraventures is trying to collect all the information of the repair centers around the world so we can give another life to these broken cameras. So I recommend you take a little bit of time and update, your local repairmen. If they're one person only, if it's a whole store or shop, I recommend you check it out, help the community with Cameraventures. Also, after announcing the Ilford distributor in the States went bankrupt, there's been a lot of problems with the ultra large format order. So I've been reading on Facebook updates by a user there saying that they're going to be making some of the ultra large format orders, but some will not be made this year. So if you're one of those that ordered from that ultra large format and rare sizes campaign, make sure to ask your store or your distributor if that's going to be made and if it's going to be delivered to you. And also the news is that Ilford won't stop making this special order after this problem in the US. So yeah, if you have any extra information about the ultra large format order, let me know. So yeah, that's all for this week. If you have any news, as always, send me an email to the email below. This weekend, I'm going to be traveling to England, as I said, so I don't know how the news will be working next week. If there's any trouble, please rate me. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can check my live stream tomorrow. I'll be live next week too, but just in case I don't do any news next week, sorry, but I'll be traveling back and forth from England to Spain. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you soon.